my personal opinion, if you're complacent, you're just as evil. What is it going to take for us as a country to evolve and push forward and to realize that, maybe it's not all about the money, because in my eyes, that's all anyone's after. It's about the money.
I don't want to say, but I think I know what it's going to take. And it's going to take something really, really bad.
Are you
well,
I don't want to say.
And that sucks because, obviously we all enjoy capitalism. That's how we can thrive and push forward as a country and, become better. And it's going to destroy our capitalistic society.
It is.
If somebody just doesn't stand up and say, you know what, forget the money. Let's do the right thing.
I think there's two parts of this. I think there's the part that you're talking about, which is the capitalistic system. And I think the end of capitalism is oligarchies, because right now all of the money is transferring to the very wealthy, and we're going to be living in the Hunger Games. That's the first part. The other part of it is, and this is what I believe, that they voted for the plantation owner. They didn't want a black woman. And for too long in this country, whether I like it or not, this is what I look like. I'm a white dude, okay? There's too many people that sat on their asses and hid behind their privilege during the civil rights movement. They didn't do a damn thing. Oh, it doesn't affect me. Doesn't affect me. It's not my problem. It's their problem. And even now, when immigrants and minorities and black people are being treated like garbage, oh, I'm going on vacation. Oh, I'm watching Netflix. We're doing the same thing. And until we address that as a country, and I say this on my TikTok all the time, the original sin of this country is white supremacy. It was built by white men to benefit white men and white men alone. In every demographic, trans, gay, minorities, black people, Asians in internment camps, women couldn't vote, women didn't have credit, women couldn't have no fault divorce. Every demographic except for mine has been treated less than, and we have to have more people that look like me, whether I like it or not. I benefit from this, and I'm the demographic that has to call it out and tear it down. We have to have these conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2024, this country was not ready to elect a black woman president, and much of it was because of existent racism that used to be hidden or at least dormant to a certain extent. And now, not only are they racist in plain sight, they're proud of it. They're proudly saying that we want to have a white nationalist country. Yep. Trump involves himself in other countries, but you could tell he really doesn't want to. Yep. He really just worries about America, because he wants, like you said, make America all white again.
Yep.
Yeah. And Paul, what you were saying about like a general strike, people not paying taxes and, buying very minimum, I do think that would work. I honestly think that would work, because as soon as we stop the money flow, they're all going to lose it.
I agree. And all this one quick thing, because I want to get to more when we have the phones up there. I understand. Because, I come here, I don't get paid to come on here. I come here because I care about people. I care about these callers. I care about Leonard and even Brian a little bit. He's on a couch. I'm not going to shake his hand for a while. But I care about fighting for people, because the way that I grew up, I wasn't treated very good. So I always wanted to fight for the people. And this is not, I understand that people are financially struggling. Okay, I get that. I completely get it. But here's the thing. Politicians, Martin Luther King said something. He goes, a leader is not a searcher of consensus. They are a molder of consensus. Right now we have politicians and Democrats saying, vote for me. I'm not Republican. Oh, we'll fix it. That's not leadership. Leadership is telling people what they need to hear, right? So let's say you can't afford to strike. Okay, cool. Let's play this out really quick. You're on a boat with 7 days worth of food and you see the island out in the ocean, right? You can swim to it, but you're like, you know what? I'm comfortable. I'm not sure if there's food there. There might be, but I don't want to risk leaving my comfort zone. That's cool. So you sit on the boat for 7 days. You know what happens? You eat all the food. There's no more food. And by the time you go to look for the island, you've drifted away from the island after 7 days. And now you don't know where to go. And now you're stuck. So I understand, both things are true. I have compassion and I understand that people can't afford to strike. But at the same time, I'm telling you what you need to hear. Yeah, it's going to suck. It's going to suck hard.
Do you know what? Does anybody know what Gavin Newsom would do on, let's do something basic, taxes? Does anybody know his position? He said, if I get elected, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 18% corporate rate. It used to be 35 during the Biden during the Biden presidency. It was 35%. Trump lowered it to 20, and now it's about 18. But what Trump did when he lowered the corporate tax rate is he punched a $2.2 trillion hole in the budget.
Yep.
So this is real simple. Why isn't Gavin Newsom or AOC or even Governor Moore over there in Maryland, who said he might think about running for president? How come they're not saying what they would do to right the wrongs for the rich on taxes? You see what I'm saying? Like what they'll say is we're going to do something and we got to stick together and we got to address this problem. Well, that's not leadership.
Well, forget all that noise. In my personal opinion, if you're complacent, you're just as evil.
Yeah, complicity is silence. I mean, and I'll, because we got to get another call here, but I would say this, and I'll ask you this, Leonard. And this is an honest question: is Officer, what was his name? The George Floyd officer. What was his name?
Chauvin.
Was Derek Chauvin more responsible, or the three officers stood by and watched it happen? Because metaphorically, I kind of see that very similar. The Democrats are sitting by. I know.
And let me tell you, I'll tell you a true story. When I was a police sergeant, we had someone who was high on drugs, who was driving a car crazy. We eventually had to stop him. He was pulled out of the car. And by the time all that happens and there's a chase and there's a use of force and everything the emotions are escalated, the officers pulled him out, and they took him down. He was a strong, muscular young guy, and they took him down and the fight was on, but they got him handcuffed. And they still had batons out and this and that. And I'm telling you what I did. Really, I stepped right in the middle.
Yep.
And I grabbed one of them by the shoulder who had a baton in his hand. And I said, "That's enough. You guys got him."
Yeah.
So, do we need more people like that in the world? And am I complicit as a sergeant if I see that guy getting beat down and I don't do something about it? And I believe they were all charged, were they not?
They're in prison.
I think they're still serving time.
Yeah, they're still in prison.
At minimum, dereliction of duty, and you could charge them with whatever Chauvin was charged with, but in a smaller role. I don't think they got the same prison sentence, but they all went to jail. So yes, they're complicit. And I think you're talking about the Democrats standing here just watching.
I am. What can we do?
We don't have the House. We don't have the Senate. We don't have the Supreme Court. We don't have the Attorney General. What do you want us to do?
Somehow McConnell held up an entire Supreme Court for 1 year in the minority. Shocking that somehow they got away with it.